Hey y'all, it's Nancy, the Handy Scandy Artist in Residence for Imagine Crafts. Thanks for joining me today. Now, last time we met, we created a bunch of backgrounds together and we used a few different inky mediums and a gel plate along with some other supplies. And this time we're going to turn one of those inky backgrounds into a lovely card. Now, for the sake of time, we're only making one on screen and you can see that I'm getting started. But stick around to the end because I have 3 bonus shaker cards that I'm going to show you as well. So you can see that I am already stamping out this beautiful stamped image from Penny Black. It's called Blissful Blossom. It's a cling mounted rubber stamp, and I am stamping it out in my VersaMark Sticky Embossing Ink. Now this is because we are about to heat emboss with the gold embossing powder. This embossing powder is absolutely beautiful. So stick with me and we are going to make this card not only beautiful but kind of expand a little bit more on what I call my aesthetic, which is grungy elegance. So we have the image stamped out. You can see the VersaMark shining in the light, so you know where you've stamped and you've got a good image. And I used my anti-static powder bag in the beginning because when you're using embossing powder, if you don't want stray bits, it's really important to use some type of an embossing bag or pouch, or oh gosh, they come in so many different varieties now. But anyway, you just want to use that anti-static um, powder in some way on your panel so that you don't get that embossing powder all over. Now you will see with my grungy elegant aesthetic, I do put embossing powder in different places, but it's purposeful. So I wanted to add to this background, and so I am stamping with the VersaMark ink again on the Vintage Script stamp. It's a background stamp. Obviously you can see it's red rubber as well, and it's from Whimsy. It is one of my favorite stamps from Whimsy, and I am just stamping randomly. You could see that I wasn't trying to get full coverage. I wasn't trying to get all the words, and I definitely wasn't trying to cover my entire panel. And I love adding interest like this with this. I'll call it double heat embossing because you've heat embossed your stamped image and now you're coming in and you're adding some interest with heat embossed background as well. And I think that just adds a level of romance that you may not get otherwise, and the elegance as well. Now this Love You stamp that I'm stamping out now is from the Stamp Market. It is from the Glorious Greetings stamp set. I also have the dies, and we will die cut this out in just a little bit. But here I'm using that same gold embossing powder. Now I did use my anti-static powder tool, but I still got a little bit of strays. So anytime that happens, or if you get embossing powder anywhere you don't want it, you can just take a paintbrush or something along those lines and just knock off that excess powder. And you'll see me do that here in a bit as well. So I heat emboss that sentiment and set it aside for later. And with this panel, what I've done is die cut it into an A2 size with a stitched rectangle die from my stash. Don't know where that's from, so I can't tell you that, but I'm adding another level of both the grunge by tearing my panel edge, and I'm adding another level of elegance because I'm adding some more embossing powder to that torn edge. And I put the VersaMark embossing ink not only along the edge but also kind of on the panel itself down at the bottom, and you'll see what that does here in just a little bit. Again, I'm knocking off some of it because it was too much. I want it to be a little more random. And then as I hit it with my heat tool, I can tell if I want more, and if I do, while that embossing powder is still hot and melty, I dip it into the dry granulated embossing powder that's in my coffee filter. And this for me adds that randomness, but it's still controlled because I get to tap it down in the areas that I want it. But again, it adds to the grunge because it's random and it's not, it's not or it is purposeful, but it's not symmetrical and all those different things. But it's got that randomness, but it's still so very elegant. And again, it just I don't know, it helps to visualize my aesthetic as I describe it to you. So here you can see that I have die cut that Love You sentiment, and I'm bringing all my components together to assemble this card. So I have my card base, I have that gold frame that is cut from a 6x6 cardstock from Tonic. Card pack is called Gold Hearted, and it is a variety of different gold cardstocks. It's absolutely beautiful. You can see that I cut out the middle because I don't want to waste that gold glitter cardstock. So I will use the inset from that on another project. Now here I have to apologize for the blur, but my camera was just kind of squinting at all of, all of the shine. It was like the sun shining in my camera's eyes. So anyway, it's fun. It's a beautiful card. And I love the different textures of the gold. I have the glitter, I have the embossing powder, some lumps and bumps with the kind of grunginess of the way that that was embossed in different places. And then also I have this very smooth, shiny mirrored card that is this tag that I'm adding glue to. So I did use my tear tape on the back of that, but I know that I want some wiggle room, so I'm also using my on point precision glue as well. So that just gives me, it'll give me double stick, but it'll also allow me to wiggle it around if I can't get that flat edge right up against my card panel, which is what I want. And you'll notice that I'm not putting any dimension behind this tag, and that's okay. That's actually how I want it. The only dimension on this card is actually behind the panel, and I have used double-sided foam tape to lift the panel itself up just to give it some dimension and some prominence, because this panel is what it's all about. And so I've also used my tear tape and my on point precision glue to adhere the sentiment down to that tag, and it's very simple. I really want that background to do the talking, and I feel like it does. And this, guys, is my finished card. Let me know what you think. But don't go away just yet, because we have those bonus cards coming up. I think this is stunning. I very rarely do a simple color palette like that, but I'm in love. Now for these shaker cards, I have used different elements from my stash. All of the shaker bits are, there's confetti, there's rainbows, there's flowers, there's stars. On all three cards, there's just something a little bit different, and they are just randomly from my stash. I've gotten them from various places over the years and really just wanted to show them some love and let them be used. So the happy birthday die from the first card was from Crafter's Companion. This happy birthday to you, as well as the happy birthday on the next card, are both from Studio Katya. This is stamped in orange and then heat embossed with clear. And the next one is stamped in StazOn on the outside of the acetate. Now, these are all full panel shaker cards, as you can see, and I've used what we would normally just consider trash. So it's the packaging that a lot of our crafty goodness comes in the mail, and I've saved those, all those different bags and things, and that is how I created these shakers. Now maybe in another video I'll go into depth on how I did that, but just wanted you to see some options in terms of shakers and different ways to use these backgrounds. And I have plenty more to use, and I've used them in different videos and for different projects, but this is what I have for y'all today. So everything that I've used will be listed downstairs in the description box, and I thank you for spending time with me. I ask that you would hit the thumbs up if you like this video, and go ahead and subscribe to the Imagine Crafts YouTube channel. And until next time, again, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, artist in residence for Imagine Crafts, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.